Hey everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. If it's your first time joining me, thanks for being here. I am a mid-Missouri master gardener who just likes to share all kinds of gardening adventures that I have in my Zone 6B garden. One of the reasons why I started the YouTube channel is because I was actually for the last couple of years moderating a couple of large gardening Facebook groups online and adding a lot of my own content to those Facebook groups. And somebody said, you know what? You should really start videotaping some of your content and turn it into a YouTube channel because there are a lot of gardening YouTube channels, which I love, just like many of you, but there are not a lot out there that feature Missouri gardeners, people like me in the central part of the country. So that was the impetus for me starting my own channel. So thanks for being here. And for those of you who've been hanging out with me for a little while since I started showing you my adventures, I really appreciate all the support. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. So today is a day I've been waiting for. I know a lot of you all in my zone in the middle of the country have also been waiting to put some annuals in the ground or pot up some pretty annuals for the summer. In my Zone 6B garden, our average last frost in my area, in my zip code, is April the 18th. Here it is, oh, what is today? The 27th of April. And so we've gone past that average last frost, but I've been holding out because I've been gardening for a long, long time. And like many of you, you know that when it says, when is your average last frost? Focus on the word average, because just like you could suspect, after my average last frost, which was April the 18th, 3 or 4 or 5 days later, it got down to 30 at night. So again, I wouldn't want to jump in and put all my warm weather annuals or vegetables or herbs outside. I tend to wait a couple of more weeks. So I'm just on the beginning edge of putting some things out and putting some things out in pots. And the reason why I've gone ahead and chosen to do it here on the 27th of April is that I check the weather forecast very closely, and I'm always trying to pay attention to the low temperatures. And we don't have any lows in our temperature predictions over the next 10 days that are less than 50 or 55 degrees. So I'm going to take the plunge and just begin to plant out and pot up some of my annuals. So that's what I want to take you along with me today as I pot up two of my self-watering aquapot light pots that I actually have positioned, let's see, where am I pointing? In the front entrance to my greenhouse. In my greenhouse now, of course, obviously. And if you look over my shoulder, do you see that? I have a delivery that just came of proven winner annuals. Oh, I can't say enough good things about this company, how they grow and create super hardy, great producing plants. They are an incredible company that not only creates annuals, they have perennials, they have shrubs. I'm not sure what else. So today it's all about potting up some of these gorgeous flowers for summer. Let me show you what flowers I'm going to be putting in the pots. Trying not to get too distracted, I hear some geese in the air above my greenhouse. We've had a pair of geese hanging out here at our pond for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We like to call them Mr. and Mrs. G. So we think they're a mating pair. They come back every year, and I think there was only 1 or 2 years that we actually got to see their little goslings. The mama nests and lays her eggs somewhere quite a little distance from the pond, but one year she and Dad Goose, Mr. Goose, brought their little gaggle of geese over, and it was just a delight. So gosh, be great if we got that lucky this year. But anyhow, okay, time to refocus on today's project. of planting up some of my new proven winter annuals that just came. So this beautiful white Garo will be in the center of each pot, and then surrounding it, I'm going to plant 3 different colors of the Mini Vista Petunia series. And those are going to be the Mini Vista Violet Star. It even is in bloom. You can see that. Isn't that gorgeous? Mini Vistas are the cousin to the regular Super Tunia Vistas. They have just smaller flowers, but they're prolific bloomers and they get big. They will get, I think, a lot like the other ones. Let me look at the tag. Gosh. Yeah, I think they will get 2 foot in diameter, each one of these little plants, over the course of the growing season. So this beauty will go in. Then the next one that's going to go in the same pot with it is the Super Tunia Mini Vista Indigo. See if I can show that. If I can get that on the screen there. All right, isn't that pretty? And last but not least, to complement the purple and white scheme, of course, the Super Tunia Mini Vista White Petunias, and they are in bloom. So that's the plan. Gara in the center, Mini Vista Petunias encircling that in purples and whites. And so I better get out there and try to get these in these 2 pots. And I'll show you the steps that I take whenever I plant annuals in any of my containers. So let's go look and see how easy it is to do. And I want to get out there and get this done because we've got some rain coming and I need to get this project finished. So come along. The very first and most important thing whenever you're planting up any kind of annuals or anything for that matter is soil. Absolutely essential. I tell everybody that. I said, you can have the best plants like these from Proven Winners. You can grow beautiful plants in, the winter to plant out. But if you put your plants in horrible soil, they're not going to do well. They need to be fed. They need to be healthy from the food and nutrition they get and minerals from good, healthy soil. So what I like to use, and I've mentioned this before, is I like Pro Mix potting soil. Premium potting mix, probably my favorite ever. And you're going to see me to add some amendments. Even though this is great soil, I'm still going to add a few things. You saw me add the Biotone root stimulator fertilizer. It's organic, so that's in there. And then after I create the holes for these 4 plants, I will be putting in the slow release, continuous release, Proven Winners plant food, especially for flowering annuals. They're really heavy feeders, so I'll be doing that next. never a dull moment in gardening, and also I'm learning a lot about how to videotape while you're gardening. And what just happened as I was taking a peek at some of the video I shot earlier of me outside filling up those pots was that my new little lapel mic that I was so excited about using so that you all could hear me when I was videotaping from a distance, it worked great for a while. And then, I'd say 2 or 3 of the video shots that I made with that mic on, there was no audio. So you're gonna see some of my videos with me just doing the work, and you won't be able to hear me talking. So I'll add a little music to that for you all. So I do apologize. I thought, here I'm getting better at this, and it's just a big learning curve. Totally learning how to do all this videotaping on my own. I have no one helping me, and I'm gonna make some mistakes along the way, but it's just like gardening, so what? Try again and figure it out. So one of the things I wanted to share with you about today's project was, you might have been wondering how I decided to put those proven winners annuals together, and I used a recipe. Yes, a recipe. So if you're a cook like me, when you're trying something new, sometimes it's fun to consult a recipe, and that's just what I did. So I'm going to invite you to check out the Proven Winners website, and I'll make sure I put the link to that website in the description below. Check it out because they actually have recipes of plant combinations. And I knew this year I wanted to do some pinks and purples and whites in the garden, especially in my pots. And so when I was on their website, this was way back, probably January, when I was inside dreaming about what I might grow, I came across this particular recipe that included the Gara, the mini Vista whites, indigos, and the striped one, which I can't remember the name right now, but I told you about it earlier. Anyhow, so check it out. It's pretty cool. One other thing I wanted to let you know about, if you haven't purchased any Proven Winners annuals in these quart-size containers, they came up with this Eco Grande cup. And this is a biodegradable, compostable cup. Now, you could, if you wanted to, leave your plant in its original compostable container. And they've got these little tabs here that you break out, and you can plant everything, plant and container, right in the soil. But I'm kind of old school, so you saw me remove the flowers from their pots and place them directly into the soil. But the great news is I will be able to take these compostable pots and actually put it in my compost bin so that I am not using too much plastic. So that is an amazing improvement. And if you think about all of the plants that we purchase in the local nurseries or whatever, they all come in plastic. Oh my gosh, so much plastic. Of course, when I do that, I hold on to that plastic and I use them because I tend to grow a lot of things from seed. And so I try to reuse most of the plastic things that I can. But what a great idea that they have of selling all of their stuff in these compostable containers. So this will be going into my compost heap, and these will break down with heat and water and the elements over time. So I'm really pleased with that. So anyhow, I appreciate your patience today and some of my audio mishaps in today's video, but you get the idea. It is time in my Zone 6B garden to begin putting some beautiful annuals outside for what we're hoping is going to be just a really great summer in the garden, filled with lots of color and beauty. So as always, thank you all so much for being with me today and hanging out as I planted up some annuals. And of course, if you could like and subscribe so that I can support my channel and reach more gardeners like you, that would be amazing. And as always, I wish you all